Hey guys, happy Friday night. Welcome to the SoFLo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade. And before we get into anything, we are back in the Stanley Cup. Who would have thought? You know, I remember being in this position last year, maybe fast forward 2-3 weeks, and people said, you know, getting your first Stanley Cup is great, but the second one is even sweeter. And I know
we got to get to first.
And
we're back in the Cup for this third year in a row. But we got one. We don't have two yet.
So what I'm saying is, I know it's sweet that we have one, but I'm just so hungry to get that second, because they say that feeling of that second one is like so sweet. So
yeah.
So I'm hungry. I'm real hungry. Yeah. I'm greedy. I'm hungry.
Well, it's almost dinner time, but yes, look, we gotta, it's really exciting, but the job is not done. We still got 4 more wins, but in the meantime, the Panthers are back. The 2024 Stanley Cup champs are back in the Stanley Cup final, and it's an amazing deal. 3 straight. It's only happened 4 times since the 80s. So that is a big deal. And it turns out the state of Florida is now the hockey capital of America, because 6 straight years, a Stanley Cup team from Florida, the 3 previous years, the Panthers, and now 3 years in a row. The Lightning, the previous 3 years, and now 3 years in a row, the Panthers are in the Stanley Cup final. So it is a big deal. And
it is a huge deal. What I wanted to say was, sorry, go ahead, was, here, I'm going to bring something up real quick as you keep talking. Here, let me show you guys something. This was a cool thing that was like circulating today all over social media. And here, I'm going to pull it up right now. Image. Look at this sucker. So that's what you were saying.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. The state of hockey, and it's Florida. I mean, 3 years for the Lightning and now 3 years for the Panthers in the East, representing the East. That is a huge deal. But look, the Panthers have to do what the Lightning did, which is win 2 out of those 3, because, one is nice. You want that second one, especially if you're 3 in a row. You don't want to go 1 and 2. You want to finish 2 out of those 3, and so they have a tremendous opportunity. And when you go back to back, you've done something. And then if that takes place, then you start the D word. I don't think you could say it's the D word dynasty until you get at least 3. Many teams have repeated. I think you need to, have a run of 3 over X amount of years to be considered that. So, but they're well underway. I mean, 3 appearances in a row is a big deal. Of course, they beat the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
I almost said Panthers there for a second. I'm thinking football, but they beat the Carolina Hurricanes 5-3 on Wednesday night in Raleigh. And by doing so, they win that series 4-1. They were actually down 2-0 in Game 5, and they rallied back, as they've done several times this postseason. They came back from a 2-0 deficit, outscored them 5-1 the rest of the way, and they won that game 5-3. And no, it's incredible. I mean, they're again in the Stanley Cup again for the 3rd straight year.
And then previous to us beating the Carolina Hurricanes, we obviously had a matchup against our friends up north, the Maple Leafs. So we took care of business there. And then before that, our rivals up in Florida, the Lightning. So that was kind of our map to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
so here we are.
Stanley Cup, 3 opponents in the East, opponents that we're familiar with. Carolina, obviously, they swept them in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago, and now almost a sweep this go around. Obviously, the state rivalry between Tampa Bay and the Panthers is very noteworthy. And in Toronto, there's been some battles there. Particularly getting Brad Marchand over from Boston, who was a Toronto Maple Leaf killer, was a huge deal. And look, this team is all business, right? There was no celebration after Game 5. They didn't touch the Prince of Wales trophy, which is handed to the Eastern Conference champion winner. They stayed away from that thing, as a matter of fact. They wanted nothing to celebrate about that. And they did it the right way. It's a business like-minded approach. They are out there to win and nothing else.
Yep. So this matchup is the matchup that we had last year in the Stanley Cup Finals against Edmonton Oilers. We covered this very heavily last year. This is the furthest 2 teams that would play each other point to point. Edmonton obviously being very far west towards Victoria, British Columbia out that way, and then us being on the southernmost tip of Florida all the way out here. So it is a very heavily traveled distance for Stanley Cup Finals. The Stanley Cup prior to that, the Florida Panthers had a battle against the Vegas Knights. So this is our journey, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to talk about the Vegas Knights. We want to talk about Edmonton Oilers, which are our opponent now. We beat them last year in a classic 7-game series. If you recall, the Panthers were leading that series 3-0. And then Edmonton won the next 3, setting up a Game 7 down here at Sunrise. And the Panthers were able to pull it out and have a huge Game 7 victory. So we get the schedule there.
Yeah, so here's the schedule. It has been set. It was officially set once the decision between the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers was decided. Obviously, Edmonton came out of that victorious. First 2 games will be in Edmonton. And then Game 3 and 4 will be here in Sunrise, Florida. So you have Game 1 will be on June 1st. Let's see what I got here. Okay, so I'm sorry. Game 1 will be on June 4th. That'll be an 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time game.
All the games are going to be 8 o'clock in the Stanley Cup. So, but 8 o'clock puck drop for all the games. But it's going to be a couple days off for travel because, as you mentioned, it's
too far.
Yep.
Game 2 will be June 6th, and then once the games come back here in Florida, Game 3 will be June 9th. Game 4 will be June 12th, and then if needed, Game 5 will go to Edmonton. Game 6 will be here in Florida. Game 7 will be in Edmonton. So there's very standard 2-2-1-1-1 series if needed to get to 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you see there, you took it off, but a couple of breaks in between games, especially the pivotal games there. Yeah. There's a 2-day off between games 2 and 3. As a series shifts down here to Florida. So it's a lot of people have it even. It should be an even series. Both teams, as you mentioned, beat their opponents in the conference finals in 5 games. Yeah. So, both teams are hungry. Obviously, Edmonton maybe has a little bit more of a initiative, if you will, because they did lose to the Panthers last year at 7, and that didn't taste well. But look, the Panthers are trying to repeat, and that's no slight of a factor there. So they're trying to get back and take care of business as well. You mentioned that the Edmonton Oilers beat the Stars in 5 games. Mm-hmm. They did touch the Western Conference Finals trophy because they didn't do it last year. And, of course, they ended up losing to the Panthers in the final. So they try to reverse the mojo. Not sure if it'll work or not. I know that we didn't touch it last year. We won. We didn't touch it this year, so hopefully we win again. But, look, Edmonton is a formidable opponent. Obviously they did the same thing we did, got to the finals last year. They're back in the finals this year against us.
Connor McDavid's the real deal.
Connor McDavid is a big deal. One of the best, hockey players in the world. Yeah. You got Leon Draisaitl. He's great. And Stuart Skinner, their goalie, has had a tremendous run here in the playoffs. So, they are a team that is hungry as well. And it's going to be a heck of a series for sure.
It's going to be really, really tough. I tweeted, obviously we're Florida Panthers fans. And what I did was I thought about, I think about Dolphins a lot, right? And I think about our Dolphins friends, our Dolphins family, and all this stuff. And if you're not a Dolphins fan who likes the Panthers, you're missing out on this glorious experience that we felt the last 3 years. So I tweeted the other few days ago saying, I hereby invite any Dolphins fan who wants to join on the Panthers bandwagon to join. And I think Big E caught on to that because he tweeted the other day of a Panthers jersey because it's just a great, great feeling. And Panthers are just a wonderful team, wonderful organization. We've been to the Amerant Bank Arena many times. It's just fun, family oriented. The giveaways are great. Park, and it's just what you would hope a hockey organization would be from the top. Obviously, Bill Zito all the way down, Paul Maurice, the players, and something I told you actually. I think maybe the other day was when I was living in Fort Lauderdale, obviously before I moved down to Miami, I lived in a high-rise in downtown Fort Lauderdale, maybe 5 years ago. And there was Panthers players who lived in my high-rise and no one knew who they were. It was just super casual and stuff. And now it would not be the case. The Panthers players are so noticeable and they put their name on the map.
The rock stars.
They are. So boy, have times changed, and it is just a great time to be a Panthers fan. I know we are not using the word dynasty, but it's great times.
Yeah, just roll with it. Hopefully, again, 4 more games here to go. Yeah. And as you mentioned, if you're not a Panther fan or trying to decide who your hockey team is, jump on the bandwagon because it's a fun ride. It's fun, guys. If you're a Dolphin fan in particular, because all the Dolphins obviously live locally down here, and they support it. From Raheem Mostert was a big Panther fan. Huge. He was at the parade last year. He's no longer with the team, but still, he's a big supporter. He still lives down here in South Florida. Tua's banging the drum. Coach McDaniel's banging the drum.
Sandy Alcantara. We
Yeah.
have some.
Well, I'm talking about Dolphins players, but yeah, South Florida, athletes as well. I mean, so it's a great team to get behind, and so we'll see what happens here.
I got to bring up something.
Yeah.
Something that bothered me for Game 5 when we were playing the Carolina Hurricanes was Darius Rucker, who is a huge Miami Dolphins fan, who I admire, not even just for his music, because he's such a superstar, but he's such a big Dolphins fan. He's such a great guy. He's from Carolina, and he's a Hurricanes fan, and he was like doing their thing to start the game, and I was like, ugh,
yeah,
dang.
That hurts. But look, again, you're going to have that, especially he's from Carolina, so that's understandable. A lot of people are Dolphin fans all over the country, all over the world.
Canada, of course.
So, you're going to have that where you're not going to have similar teams to us, we who live down here in South Florida. But look, Darius Rucker, obviously, for those of you who don't know, famous lead singer from Hootie and the Blowfish, made the song The Dolphins Made Me Cry. So he's a hardcore Dolphin fan through and through. But look, Carolina is his state, and you can't hate on him, but it did sting a little bit to see him out there rooting and doing that hurricane sound. So
but again, guys, here's what we're looking at for the Stanley Cup final schedule. It has been released. It was officially released last night, so this is what we're looking like, and hopefully Panthers take care of business and repeat. Let's check in that. I was gonna just check in the chat. Adam says, God, that's a long layover, but I'm stoked to watch. Panthers are a great team, and McDavid is amazing. Hoping for a great series. You're definitely going to get a great series for sure. I mean, without a doubt. It wasn't such a great series when we played the Hurricanes just last series. The Hurricanes just couldn't keep up with us. We had a great series against the Maple Leafs, but for sure, I can't imagine the series going nothing less than 6, and it's going to be a great one. Yeah, well, as Panther fans, we're hoping it's not. I mean, people say competitive series or what. I'd rather see a sweep. I don't want let's stretch it out because anything can happen. Just ask about the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum. So you play around, you get an extra game here and there, and the Panthers should know better themselves. They were up 3-0 on Edmonton last year. Edmonton came back and won the next 3 and set up a Game 7, winner take all. Anything can happen. So I would leave nothing to chance. You got a chance to kick a team when they're down. Don't let them back in a series. But you mentioned it's a rematch. It is the first rematch in the NHL and Stanley Cup since 2009. The Detroit Red Wings and the Pittsburgh Penguins, they actually alternated, so we're hoping that's not the case. We're hoping that the Panthers win both games in this two rematches. So we will see what happens. But hey, the Cats have won another series. They are on to the Stanley Cup final. So you know what that means. The Rat's got to come out, baby. Here comes that Rat. Got to take it out. The Rat has to be shown. This is talk about the Panthers tradition and all that. This is one of the coolest tradition. For those of you who don't know, I will educate you on it. Back in 1996, the Panthers came into existence in 1993. They have not been around a long time. So their inaugural year was off to a great start. And then going into the 96 season, this is back in the old Miami arena that was shared with the Miami Heat before both teams got their separate arenas. But they are in the locker room in the playoff game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Scott Mellenby, Panthers player, saw a rat going across the locker room floor. He took his stick out, one-timed that rat across the room, instantly ending the rat's journey. And Ratatouille's journey ended right there.
Exactly. His journey was over, and everybody started calling it, instead of a hat trick, which, of course, when a player in hockey scores 3 goals, people throw their hats on the ice to indicate a hat trick. They called this a rat trick, naturally, and the rest is history. So all of a sudden, after every game leading up to that Stanley Cup final against the Colorado Avalanche, unfortunately, the Panthers did not win that Stanley Cup final. They got swept. But after every goal throughout that run, fans were throwing the rats onto the ice. They actually had a promotion with Orkin, the pest company, the rodent company that, obviously exterminates rodents and all kinds of interesting insects and bugs. So they had a partnership with Orkin, where Orkin had their buckets with the Orkin logo on it, and the Orkin employees with their hats that would come out and collect all the rats. Honestly, I don't know how it was allowed, but it was a tremendous tradition. Nobody wanted to stop it. Everybody wanted to see more of it. And so, it doesn't get cooler than seeing the rats fly after Panthers win at the Amerant Bank Arena. And you see it on the road, too. A lot of Panthers fans have been turning on the road games, and after a victory, you see those rats. So Panthers are moving on. I got to bring the rat out, baby.
All right. So Adam says Whalers, Canes didn't belong on the ice with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay. So Boston Armand. Hi, Lou. Leave the Celtics out of this. Here he goes with his Celtics.
Oh boy, come on, Boston around, come on.
Go Cats, but don't take it out on the Celtics that no one in South Florida cares about the Cats and a lot of other teams. And trust me, Marchand and the rest of the guys, when not around Sawgrass, are walking around unnoticeably still.
See, that's not true. And Boston Armand is always fighting with me on this. That is not true. Look, I know that this is called the SoFLo Sports Show. I know talk radio down here isn't up to par as places like Boston or New York or Philly. Okay, I get Chicago. I understand that.
Yeah.
But there's actually a thing, and you can look it up. The Panthers players after the games were going to Dairy Queen, and all of a sudden Dairy Queen had to hire security because all the fans, once they noticed that the Panthers players were going there, were forming around the Dairy Queen. And so that's just not true. Guys like even last year, Lamborghini couldn't go around town. People noticed him. So look, the Panthers are right now, they are rock stars. They are taking this town by the storm. Everybody knows about them. And it's great, man. And going back to what Adam mentioned, the Hartford Canes, the Whaler Canes, of course, they were from the Hartford, the Whaler area before, had awesome jerseys, those green and blue jerseys with a whale tail. Not that kind of whale tail, but the whale tail on the sweater. So pretty awesome.
Yeah. So we'll see. So just fun times down here with another Stanley Cup Finals. That'll be starting soon. Switching gears. NBA.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So you did mention, he mentioned the Celtics aspect. All I was saying is that, it was, I know that Adam won't agree, but when, because we're going to go into basketball now, when Jason Tatum went out, even though the Knicks already had the momentum, that killed the Celtics' chance of, coming back and winning that series. So my point there, Boston Armand, is that you don't mess around and try to get or give an extra game away in the playoffs. The playoffs, you try to stop them. Keep the gas on. Yeah. Keep your foot on the gas pedal. Don't let up, because if you do, anything can happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, switching gears, gearing towards NBA Finals slowly but surely. We have 2 series going on. We have the East and we have the West.
The West is over.
The West is over. Fighting on the East, we have the Knicks and we have the Indiana Pacers. Knicks are fighting. Knicks are fighting for their life. Series is now 3-2. Looks like the Pacers are going to shut them down, and Knicks are still chugging along. As much as you hate this, I obviously want the Knicks to come out of this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we shall see.
Yeah, I do not. I can respect what you're saying, but I got some years on you, and I've made it very clear that the Knicks broke my heart in the 90s. The Heat and Knicks faced off in 4 straight playoff series. Knicks won 3 of those. Miami is considered the 6th borough. There's a lot of chatter between the Heat and the Knicks and the Jets and the Dolphins. The Rangers and the Panthers, and so on and so forth. So we don't want to really get involved with that, but I can appreciate why you're rooting for them. But look, they had a big win last night at Madison Square Garden, but now they got to do it again in Indiana, force it to Game 7 back in the Garden. It will be tough. I mean, I think the Knicks will be kicking themselves in the foot for letting the Pacers back in that Game 1. And of course, that incredible shot by Tyrese Halliburton. That ball, as mentioned, hit the rim, hit the top of Madison Square Garden roof, and then came back down. So the Knicks will kick themselves forever, always, if they cannot come back and win this series and advance to the finals. But now look, Oklahoma City was able to take care of the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games. So they're sitting pretty. They're going to have a long wait before their Game 1, which will start in Oklahoma City. And then if it's the Pacers, you're going to look at Oklahoma and Indiana. Both of those teams have never won a championship. So that would be a story in itself. Of course, the NBA front offices, they want the Knicks in there to get that big market viewership from New York. And that's not a bad story either. If the Knicks were to win a championship, they have not won since, ironically enough, the Miami Dolphins last one in 1973. So either way, you're going to have a winner here of the NBA championship that has not hoisted that trophy ever or in a very long time.
We shall see. I'd like to see the Knicks, but I know you don't like to say that, or say that, so I will keep my trap shut and take it from there. All right, guys, so the moment we've been waiting for, 305 Sports Travel, we have released pretty much all of our packages today. Last week, we released our Atlanta package. This morning, we released our Fins Fan Buffalo Bash this morning, and then this afternoon at 12 o'clock, we officially released our Pittsburgh package. So recapping, we will be doing a full trip to Atlanta, a full trip to Pittsburgh, and then we're having a Fins Fan Buffalo Bash in Buffalo. So technically 3 cities, full packages in Pittsburgh and Atlanta, and a great party in Buffalo. So let's start from the beginning, right? I'm going to pull up the screen and we'll talk from there. So let's do this. So let's go here and then see what we got. All right. So, all right, guys. So going here. So mentioned before the 3 cities that we're going to be going to: Buffalo, Atlanta, and Pittsburgh. Buffalo will be in September. Atlanta will be in October, and Pittsburgh will be in December. And then we will be going to Charlotte and helping out with Fans Fest 6 with TPP, our buddies over there, and the Charlotte Fans Club and Triangle Fans Club, and joining in their festivities in October. So a lot going on. Okay, so this is what I want to start with first. So our first event that we're doing this year is the Fins Fans Buffalo Bash. This will be on Thursday, September 17th. Now, I'm sorry, Wednesday, September 17th. The Dolphins take on the Bills Thursday night, the next day. So this event will be free the night before Wednesday, September 17th. We found an awesome location called the Draft Room in downtown Buffalo. My concern, and I'll be honest with you guys, when I was like looking for a location, I'm like, dang, is there going to be like a bar or restaurant that's going to host Dolphin fans? And I mean, between like us here, like this place could not have been cooler. We're going to do a raffle supporting DCC. And they have like 26 beers on tap. Yep. They have wings. It's such a cool place, guys. So if you are coming to Buffalo, again, it is a free event. Please support the raffle. We're gonna have great prizes that will, support Dolphins Challenge Cancer. But I do need you to RSVP because I need to give the place like a number, an idea of how many people to expect. This event will start at 7:00 again on Wednesday, September 17th at the Draft Room in downtown Buffalo.
Yeah, and so Buffalo Bill fans are hardcore.
Yeah.
Some are a little wild, but look, for the most part, they all have a great heart. The Bills Mafia, gets a bad rap sometimes, but look, whenever like when Tua went down, they donated to his foundation. Joe Burrow went down, they helped him out. So the Bills Mafia does a lot of good things. Again, a couple of bad apples in the group doesn't spoil the batch. So Bills, we've talked to several places and trying to get this together, and the Draft Room Buffalo was very welcoming towards what we wanted to put together. They want to participate and help us
have a great event. Yeah.
And be amongst Buffalo Bills fans as well, but also show that us Dolphin fans could travel and support. And another big reason that we wanted to get out to this game, number one, it's on Thursday night, so that's always good. A primetime matchup is never gonna turn people away. But this is the last year of Highmark Stadium, and that stadium has been around since the 70s. The Dolphins had their way with the Bills in that stadium at the beginning, but unfortunately, the last couple of years, not so much. So this is a good opportunity for us to finally get out there and see that old stadium before they knock it down.
Yeah.
They'll open up their new stadium, which looks amazing, next year. So, this is a good way to go out.
Yeah, guys. So, again, our Fins Fan Buffalo Bash, Wednesday, September 17th, starting at 7 p.m. This event, it is obviously for Dolphin fans, but if you're a Bills fan, we have a lot of Bills fans, friends, you're invited too. So it is open to everybody. Draft Room, downtown Buffalo. Event is free, but I do need you to go to the website, 305sportstravel.com, and I just need you to fill out this little form here to RSVP. So first, last name, email, and how many people are attending, just so I can really keep track.
Yeah, we got a head count. We're going to have some nice little surprises there. So definitely got to be coordinated for that. And then stay tuned for, our buddy Mark Vader will be out there joining us that Wednesday night. And Thursday we're looking to maybe get together and, do a little tailgating with the Mafia, if you will. I'm not trying to get myself on top of the table and be thrown through a pile drive on a table by a Buffalo Bill fan. But hey, they got a lot of interesting characters out there, and we love to meet them all, break bread with them pregame, and hopefully come out of that stadium for the last time with a win. That would be the way to go out in my book.
No, or break buffalo wings, not bread.
Well, break wings. Yeah, break wings. There you go.
All right, guys. So that is Buffalo. For Buffalo, we don't have a hotel block, and we're not doing game tickets. So this is just a Fins Fan Buffalo Bash party if you would, the night before the Fins take on the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football on the 18th. So please, if you plan on coming, just RSVP, just so I have an idea and I can best plan for the party. All right, so moving forward, the second trip that we're running is going to be to Atlanta. So if you go
Carolina, before that, Carolina? Did you mention that?
Yeah, so Carolina, again, as mentioned before, this is ran by TPP, Fins Fans 6. They're Fans Fest 6. They are doing it in Charlotte this year. Last year was in Seattle. We had such a great time with them in Seattle. I was speaking to Danny Johnson today on the phone, and we were just talking about how much of a blast we had in Seattle, that we had this event the night before, and we just filled the bar up. It was just good times. So if you guys have any questions, they're going to be doing an event the day before. They have a tailgate. They're selling T-shirts. There's just a lot going on in Charlotte. The best way to get information is to go to the website, thepositiveporpoise.com. But even more, their Facebook page is super, super active. They do a great job on social media. So follow them, TPP FanFest on Facebook, to stay updated for information on Charlotte. It's going to be a huge presence there.
No doubt. As you mentioned, we had a great time in Seattle last year. Jamie Brady hosted that get-together at his place. Danny Johnson put it all together. Mark Angelo was out there repping. Solo D showed up. So we had a great
Big O show.
Big O was out there. That was amazing. And so it was a great time. At FanFest 5, so this is FanFest 6, and we're going to expect big things. They got more information as well on the tailgate coming up, so stay tuned, check out their website, and we will be there for that, and we are excited for that one.
Yes. Okay, guys. So so that's in the beginning of October. That's the first week of October. Now, moving forward to the third week of October is our trip to Atlanta. This is a full Invasion trip to Atlanta that we will be hosting. So going here, let me move it here. This is Dolphins first Falcons. More specifically, this is week 8. Join us as we head to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, to cheer on our Dolphins as take on Falcons week 8. So our packages, we have 100 level game tickets. So all the Fin fans will sit together. What I like about this is their tickets actually include a $10 food and beverage voucher. So all tickets through us, you will have a $10 voucher for any food and drink at Mercedes-Benz Stadium already built into that.
Well, first of all, I got to stop you on that. I love to eat. I love to drink. So that's a win-win in my book. And the better part about it is that Atlanta is known for having the most affordable prices in the NFL. Their hot dogs are like $3-4. Their beers are like $5. Yeah. So you got $10. You can walk out of there with like 4 items.
You're feeding the whole family.
If you really maneuver yourself properly and you adjust your diet, if you will, you could make out with a $10 credit at a Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So that's pretty good. They do also, as you mentioned in previous shows, they do have a Chick-fil-A as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, since it is going to take place on Sunday, that Chick-fil-A will be closed. So that's the only downer of this trip. But
Okay, so we do have it where we have the game tickets and the social. So that is one of the packages that we offer. It's very, very limited, where you can get a game ticket, and then the social is going to be on Saturday. But it is an option, so you can sit with us and join us on our party on Saturday, October 25th.
Yep.
Okay.
Our hotel is going to be the Westin on Peachtree, and it's going to it's walking distance to the stadium. Yeah. So that's always great.
I love that.
And so being able to walk close to the stadium, right out of your hotel, that's a great deal. Also want to announce that we have partnered up with the Atlanta fan club, the Atlanta Dolphins fan club, and their president, Scott Howell. So that's going to be great. They're going to have a bunch of information as to their tailgate, what they have got coming up. So we are excited for that information to come out. And once we know it, we will put it on our website and let you guys know. So you can definitely take part of that. We know we'll be out there for that. And so look out for that information. They also have a tremendously awesome logo, which is the Dolphin logo coming out of a peach, because Atlanta is the peach is their famous fruit. It's on their license tag. So he's got the Dolphin logo coming out of a peach. It goes perfectly with the color scheme. It's awesome. So we are excited to partner up with them and hang out with them during our weekend in Atlanta.
Yes, so stay tuned for that. If you guys want the most updated information, the best way to receive that is subscribing to our website. So if you just scroll down to any of the pages on the website, you'll see a section where it says, get in touch, let's chat. So by subscribing, any type of information, whether it's about a tailgate, whether it's about any packages or socials or anything, you will be the first to know. So definitely subscribe there. But going back to the packages that we offer, just real quickly, again, we have the game ticket and the social. The social will be on Saturday, and then you can get the game ticket with a $10 voucher. And then our hotel is the Westin Atlanta, like Lou mentioned. And then we have many different packages to choose from. You guys can, go to our website, 305sportstravel.com. We have a one-person package, a two-person package, all the way down to a five-person package with 2 rooms. So definitely take your time and
show that 5-person package.
Okay.
Of course, the great number 5, the mythical Ray Finkel. So we call that our Finkel 5 package.
Yes.
And so because of course the great Ray Finkel wore number 5 mythically in the classic Ace Ventura movie. So yes, that is our Finkel 5 package. And whichever package fits your means, get your buddies together and join us on the road in Atlanta. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, we're about halfway sold out with our tickets already. We have great seats to this game. So guys, definitely do not wait. If you are interested in joining us in Atlanta, because I'm already working on the seating chart, and I would love to have you guys join us. So the best way to do it, obviously, to book any of these packages, one of our most popular packages is the 1972 package. It's a very standard 2 people to a package. So that would be something for like you and I.
Yep.
If we were to go, we need 1 hotel room, 2 game tickets, and 2 tickets for the social. So what you do is you just go to secure your package. You just click there. And then from there, it brings you to the book it page where it's very simple just to pick what you want, add to cart, and check out from there. And here's also where you would find all of our packages. So the Pittsburgh packages.
Which we're going to get into now.
Yep. And then also information about our Buffalo Bash. So Book It is where the checkout station is.
Yeah. Going back to Atlanta, the Westin Hotel in Atlanta is a tremendous hotel. I've stayed there. It's huge. It has a great room up top. It's a revolving upstairs restaurant that sundial that overlooks all of downtown Atlanta and even looks into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah.
So and that's pretty much open for dinner, but they also have portions there that have like an observation deck. So you could go up there and have stunning and amazing views of the city. Also around the hotel, you pretty much walk out of the lobby and left, right, and front, back. Bars all over. So you're in Bar Row in Atlanta, right there on Peach Street. And, it's going to be a great time.
Yes, some things that I like to do in Atlanta. I've been there. I was there 6 years ago. They have the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Such a fantastic museum. They also have the Georgia Aquarium, one of the best aquariums I've actually gone to. They have the Coca-Cola Museum, and it's all in Centennial Park. So it's just walkable. Okay.
Some other surprises that, once you're booked and we we'll send you emails, obviously, leading up to the trip with any updates. And we also, Ashley did a great job of putting together itineraries. She does it when we go on vacation and stuff. So
you should see our Disney itineraries.
So she will definitely, send everything your way as to what you want to see and what you cannot miss during your time out in Atlanta.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears and introduce Pittsburgh to you guys. Pittsburgh is a game that we're going to be playing in mid-December, more specifically week 15. It is a Monday night game, and I'll let Lou go ahead and take it.
Yeah, so we are calling this the Finns versus Yings, or the Finns and Yings edition. Yings is popular in it's a term they use out there in Pennsylvania. It's funny in
Western Pennsylvania.
In Philadelphia, they use the term John. So John means John's for anything, not John, that's John.
Yeah.
So John's typically anything. John could be anything at all, and that's what they call it for. And Yins is pretty much like saying like 2 or more people or 2 things or more. So they have
what we say in Jersey?
No.
Use.
Okay, use. Yeah, that's.
I say that a lot.
That's right. They use that in the movie Casino as well, and Goodfellas.
Like use people.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to. I say that all the time.
No, I know, but that's John and Yings are 2 like made up words. Use, is a different way of saying you guys. Pretty interesting there. But this is going to be a tremendous time in December 15th. It's a Monday night football game, so that's always awesome. These are 2 teams that go back, and I'll get into that in a second. 2 teams that go back a long way. They played in the 1972 AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh, and then 2 years later, Pittsburgh had their own big moment with the Immaculate Reception.
Yeah.
So, there's a bunch of history between these two teams going way back. The Dolphins did change their logo, but they still have the similar, color scheme. And the Steelers have always had their logo
colors, yeah.
and their staples, the black and gold, black and yellow. Black and Yellow's made songs about it and whole thing. So, yeah, this package is going to include our game ticket to that Monday Night Football game, ticket in the upper level. You got your 4-day, 3-night stay. We're staying at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown. It is about a 20 to 25-minute walk to the stadium, but we are working on other ways, creative ways to get you over there if you choose not to do that walk. It's going to have our FinFan Social. We are also going to put together in this package a special comedy show with our good friend of the program, Oscar Cavazos. He is a big-time comedian. He lives currently in New York. He's played pretty much every club that you could think of. He's a headliner, so and the best part of all, he's a Dolphin fan. He's actually a Dolphin fan and a comedian, so pretty funny how that would work out. But Oscar is a trip. You can definitely look him up. We wanted to roll out our packages first, but we definitely want to highlight him and have him on a future show. He is extremely funny, and so he's going to do a comedy show with us in Pittsburgh, either Saturday night or Sunday night. Again, depends on game time. This package, I should mention, is Saturday to Tuesday because the game is on Monday night. So we will be coming out Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and checking out Tuesday. And speaking of that, on Monday, leading up to the game, we are putting together what we call the Dan the Man Experience bus tour. And that is exactly what it sounds like. We have a great bus. You're not going to want to miss this. It's a tremendous bus, very interesting bus that we are going to be riding in to get us around on our tour. Dan the Man, I'm going to say, is obviously a native son of Pittsburgh, but a legend in Miami. But Marino not just did his thing here in Miami. He grew up in Pittsburgh. He went to high school out there and was All-American high school player. He went on to stay in Pittsburgh, and for the Pitt Panthers. Took him to the Sugar Bowl in a classic game against Herschel Walker. So he had some history at the high school level, the university level, and then of course he gets drafted out of Pittsburgh to Miami. Fell to our laps at number 27 in the first round, and the rest is history, literally. And so, but you cannot tell Dan Marino's story without telling what he did in Pittsburgh, where he grew up. So many great players came out of Pittsburgh, quarterback specifically. Everybody's been from Kelly, Montana, all the great quarterbacks that have come out of the Pittsburgh area. So his story cannot be told without showing what we're going to show you on the Dan the Man Experience bus tour. There's a lot of hidden things that people don't know about Dan that we are going to showcase on this tour. So you're not going to want to miss that, and it's going to be a great time.
So similar to Atlanta, packages are on our Pittsburgh homepage. We have the 1-person package, 2-person package, going over up to the Finkel 5 with the 2.
There he is. There's Ray Finkel again.
Well, we also have a package that includes the game ticket and experience. So if you wanted to sit with us in our FinFan section and do the experiences, like Lou was saying, the bus tour, the comedy show, and the social, you're able to do that as well. So that has its own option. So to book any of these packages, what you would do is, again, let's do it as if you and I were to book. The one that would make the most sense for us, again, would be the 1972, just because it is 2 people here. We go to secure your package, click it there, brings us to the book it page, go down to the package that we'd want, 1972, add to cart, you click it, and then you are live, ready to book. So it's a very, very simple, easy to use platform that we have that I love, because I'm all about that. So I know you wanted me to add some things here.
Yeah, so you can see, can you put that a little bigger? I can read it. I hope people at home can see it. Good. Well, there you go. So this is as an added bonus, we are going to include the Miami Dolphins version of the Terrible Towel. And I want to point this out because a lot of people, look, rightfully so, the Terrible Towel is iconic. Okay, but if you look here, look at the origin. All right, it started in 1975. The Steelers, that's when they began to have their run of those 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. But again, this started in 1975, as you can see there. That is the origin of the Terrible Towel. It's awesome. It looks good. It has their colors, right? So it pops. I like it. Fans wave it to this day. almost 50 years later. So
I have one. Yeah.
You got to give them credit. You have one?
Yeah, I went to a Steelers game a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's in my office.
Oh, man.
I don't bring it here. You'd burn it or use it for toilet paper, but I have one. Yeah.
Probably a second. I would probably use it as toilet paper, especially leading up to that Monday night game. No, but there you see it. It originated, the origin of the terrible towel was 1975. Now, switch to the next screen if you may.
You got it.
Before the Steelers went on their championship run, the Dolphins were actually the inventors of, this invention. You say nobody was doing rally towels. If you look at the 60s and 70s, merchandise was not the same. There was no, people weren't wearing other players' jerseys. People were not wearing hats of the team. They might have wore similar colors, but there was no merchandise back then. And nobody, definitely had, towels or rally rags or what have you. It was, all pretty much like pom-poms for the cheerleaders, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. There was no noisemakers. None of that existed back then. So the Dolphins, as you see here, in 1971, ironically enough, both the announcers for both teams were the ones that came up with this gimmick. But again, I'm going to flat out say it. The Steelers copied us because, as you can see here, in 1971, the Dolphins released the Horrible Handkerchief, which was nicknamed the Horrible Hanky. There it is. It's in white. They were waving it around in 1971, right before the Dolphins went back-to-back Super Bowls. And again, they're the ones that started it. They are the ones that started. They called it the Horrible Handkerchief, Horrible Hanky for short. And the Steelers, made it into their own. They called it the Terrible Towel, clearly a knockoff of the Horrible Hanky. And so we are going to, create our own version of the Terrible Towel. And so anybody who comes on our trip will definitely get one of those. And we will be expecting you guys to wave those prominently as a group while we're on Monday Night Football. Hopefully the Dolphins can come out with a victory, and the camera pans towards us while we're all waving our I have a name for it, but I don't want to release it yet, our version of the Terrible Towel. And I think it's going to be a big hit.
All right, so let's go in the chat. Good morning from the UK.
Hey, we got
Rob, good morning. It is 7:43 p.m. here. I know it is Saturday morning to you, so top of the day to you. Time to hunt Panthers. Let's go Cats. Bobby, good evening, Ashley and Lou, and Bobby. Everyone, fins up.
What's going on, Bobby? I was listening to Bobby's show last night. It was awesome. Him and Alex did a great job. So definitely follow the Fins Talk Sports Network for your latest coverage on all things South Florida as well.
Your grandmother's in the chat. Beautiful time of the year to vacation and go to Atlanta. I don't think she's ever been to Atlanta. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Terrible tower. Question: where do people from Florida even go on vacation?
Yes, exactly.
So where do people? He's asking a question. Where do people from Florida even go to vacation? Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
No, we don't. We leave Florida. So I can tell you. Well, we are Disney people, so we do our vacation in Disney. A lot of people in Florida, they go to the Keys. Okay, so that is Florida. But I appreciate places like a New York, like somewhere where it's different. So we were trying to plan a trip to Tennessee. I don't know if that's going to happen this summer, but we like to leave Florida to vacation. But most people, I guess the point of the story is most people do vacation here. They just stay here because it's just a big state. From one point of Florida to the other, from Jacksonville to Key West, it's actually a 10-hour drive. It's massive. Yeah,
we met a lot of people over the weekend, over this past Memorial Day weekend, which, by the way, I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys understand and realize what Memorial Day is really about. So salute to all those who, as we mentioned last show, gave the ultimate price for this amazing, beautiful country of ours. We were away last week in Orlando, specifically in Disney. And a lot of people were saying that they drove down from Jersey, from South Carolina, a lot of people that we met. And, it takes them about 14 hours. Well, to get out of Florida, it takes you almost, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. So depending on how fast or slow you drive. So, it's tough, but there's so many great points in Florida. You got, obviously you mentioned the Keys, you got the Orlando area. St. Augustine is beyond beautiful. Somewhere that I've never been, believe it or not, even being a Floridian my whole entire life, I've never really spent a large amount of time in the Panhandle. Yeah. I've passed through it, closest to Gainesville and Pensacola, but I never really stayed and enjoyed the Panhandle. So that's something that I want to, take advantage of one day and get out that way. But we will also be in Tampa next week, watching some Marlins baseball. The Marlins are playing in Tampa at George Steinbrenner Field, which is a very small, version, very small minor league ballpark, because obviously Tropicana Field, their home field, was affected. The roof was literally blown off during their last hurricane. So yeah, excited to go out to Tampa next week.
Miami TVG, who does an amazing job, said, wish you guys were coming to New York. You know, that's actually one of the trips. So we did MetLife. What wasn't last season? We did it the year before. We did last year? The year before.
No, the year before.
Because we did Black Friday with my family. Yep. We had such a blast. And when Lou and I were talking about potential games this year, I said, Lou, like, I would love to go to MetLife this year. And it fell on one of the weekends that, like, I cannot leave Florida due to work obligations. But that was one of my trips that, like, I had circled. We will get up to New York for, obviously, St. John's game at the Garden. But obviously it's not the same seeing the Dolphins up there. So we're coming up to New York.
Eventually,
but to see the Johnnies and probably the Heat too. But unfortunately, MetLife is just not on the plans this year. But go Johnnies!
Soon enough, we'll be back out there. Yes, so Pensacola and Tampa. Tampa's awesome as well, and St. Pete over the bridge is great as well. Pensacola, I'm with you. I want to check it out. The Marlins AA team, the Blue Wahoos, are actually on Pensacola, so we'll have to check that game out. Adam says that the Steinbrenner Field, also the Green Legion tailgate location for the Eagles and Eagles and Buccaneers. So yeah, should be cool. Buccaneers actually come down to Miami this year, so
they do Christmas weekend. So that'll be Bucs fans travel well. It'll be a holiday week. It'll be a big presence of Bucs fans for that game here. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight on this Friday evening as we we already released our packages, but spoke about our packages in detail for this upcoming 2025 305 Sports Travel season. The cities we're going to be going to, again, we're doing a Fins Fan Buffalo Bash in Buffalo, and we're doing full packages in Atlanta and in Pittsburgh. So if you guys go to our website, 305sportstravel.com, it has all the information to every trip we're doing. Be sure to subscribe not only to the show, but also to the website to stay up to date on the information on the trips that we are doing. And if you are interested, and then obviously we started the show talking about our Florida Panthers. They are back in the Stanley Cup for year number 3, going for second Stanley Cup champion, hopefully 2 years in a row, playing the Edmonton Oilers again. So the series will start next week. And
Wednesday, June 4th, the puck drops at 8 p.m., all 8 p.m. start times, even though there is a time discrepancy out there in Edmonton. But hey, this is prime time, baby. You know, you got to get the viewership all over. And so this is a big deal. Back-to-back, championships hopefully coming. This is going to be a rematch. It's going to be hard fought. It went 7 last year. It may go 7 again this year. I hope not. But, that very well could happen. But, yeah, look, we were happy to take this all in, enjoy it, never take it for granted. And we hope that one day the Dolphins, if not this year, upcoming, are back to this kind of level of
give us the same joy that the Florida Panthers are giving us.
Exactly. And so, until that happens, we're still going to love and support, and we will be out there on the road. Hopefully this is the year. We got some great trips. So, yeah, definitely subscribe. Sign up for our alerts on the email. You see it there, 305sportstravel.com. And definitely also, guys, on your way out, if you have not done so already, like tonight's episode and subscribe to our channel. We will be, as soon as training camp gets officially going, OTAs are going on now. There's a couple of drama issues with the Miami Dolphins in the first couple of days, but we won't get into that. We're on positive notes, but we will definitely look forward to once hockey is put to bed, hopefully with a Panthers championship. Once the NBA finals are over, it's just baseball in the summer, and that means that training camp is soon upon us, and we will be out there
at Baptist Health, time to sweating
our butts off. Waiting to see how the Dolphins look in the summer and counting down to that kickoff, week 1.
And Miami TV said it best, I die happy when the Dolphins win the Super Bowl. And to that, amen.
Yes.
And guys, we'll end on that note. Yeah. So guys, thanks again for joining us tonight on Friday. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals until hockey starts again. And your midseason almost in baseball. So enjoy some good baseball this weekend. Go Cats, go.
Yeah, guys, have a great weekend, as Ashley mentioned. Wishing you guys a lot of happiness, rest. Summer is almost upon us, right? I mean, when does summer officially start? June?
I mean, in Jersey, it starts Memorial Day. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I guess summer started already, but it sure feels as it's summer. So we will see. But hey, until next time, go Cats, go, baby. Stanley Cup champs coming. Let's do it.
Go Cats, go.
Woo!